Welcome back. So far, we've been using Spring AOP in all of our examples. But starting with this video, we're going to explore pure AspectJ. We'll see how it differs from Spring AOP, what additional capabilities it provides, and when you should choose it over Spring AOP. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to use AspectJ in a Spring Boot application and why it's considered more powerful than Spring AOP in certain scenarios. So, let's get started. As you can see, I've created a normal Spring Boot project. If you look at the dependencies, it contains only the Spring Web MVC dependency, nothing else. You'll also notice that I haven't added Lombok. The reason is that, in this series, we're going to use AspectJ Compile-Time Weaving. Lombok also performs code generation during compilation, and combining it with AspectJ Compile-Time Weaving can introduce additional complexity while setting up the project. What exactly is compile-time weaving? It's actually very simple. During normal compilation, your Java source files are compiled into .class files. With AspectJ Compile-Time Weaving, there's one extra step. While the source code is being compiled, the AspectJ compiler automatically inserts your Aspect code directly into the generated .class files. In other words, the weaving happens at compile time, before your application even starts. As a result, the generated bytecode already contains the Aspect logic, so no proxy creation or runtime weaving is required. That's why it's called compile-time weaving, because the Aspect is woven into your application during compilation, not while the application is running. In the next few minutes, you'll actually see this happening, and it'll make much more sense once we configure the AspectJ compiler. Now, the first dependency we need to add is AspectJRT from org.aspectj. This is the AspectJ runtime library. It provides the runtime classes required by AspectJ, so it's a mandatory dependency whenever you're working with AspectJ. Go ahead and add this dependency to your pom.xml. Alright, let me add this dependency. Now, let's add the AspectJ Maven plugin. There are a couple of AspectJ Maven plugins available, but for this tutorial, I'm going to use the one from org.codehouse.mojo. It's a well-known and widely used plugin that integrates the AspectJ compiler into the Maven build process. This plugin is responsible for compile-time weaving. During the Maven build, it invokes the AspectJ compiler, which weaves our aspects directly into the generated .class files. Let's add the plugin to the pom.xml. Now, inside the plugin section, add the group ID as org.codehouse.mojo and the artifact ID as AspectJ Maven plugin. This is the Maven plugin that invokes the AspectJ compiler during the build process and performs compile-time weaving. I'm going to use the latest stable release available at the time of recording. Next, let's add the dependencies section inside the plugin. Within this section, add the AspectJ tools dependency from org.aspectj. This dependency contains the AspectJ compiler, AJC. The Maven plugin uses this compiler during the build process to compile your source code and perform compile-time weaving. Next, let's add the configuration section. Inside it, we'll configure a few important options one by one. First, set compliance level, source, and target to match your Java version. This tells the AspectJ compiler which Java language level to use while compiling your project. Next, enable Show Weave Info. This prints weaving information in the build logs, making it easy to see exactly which classes and methods AspectJ has woven. Then, enable Verbose. This provides more detailed compiler output, which is especially helpful while learning and debugging. Finally, set force-AJC compile to true. This forces Maven to use the AspectJ compiler, AJC, for compilation instead of the standard Java compiler, ensuring that compile-time weaving is performed consistently. Now that the configuration is in place, we'll add the execution goals to tell Maven when this plugin should run. Add the compile goal. This ensures that the AspectJ compiler runs during the project's compile phase and weaves our aspects into the generated .class files. If you also want your test classes to be woven, you can add the test compile goal as well. With that, our AspectJ Maven plugin configuration is complete. As you can see, we've added the AspectJ Maven plugin from org.codehouse.mojo, along with the AspectTools dependency from org.aspectj. Now, let's start writing some code. Let's create a new controller called Demo Controller. Next, let's declare a logger object. Since we're not using Lombok in this project, we'll create the logger manually instead of using annotations. Next, let's create a simple REST API. Add a few log statements inside this API. These logs will help us clearly identify when the controller method is executed. I'm not going to create a separate service class in this example. You can create one if you want, and the behavior will be exactly the same. For this demonstration, I'll apply the aspect to all the classes under the com.gan.darpun package. Now, let's create a new aspect class called logging aspect. Just like we did in Spring AOP, annotate this class with the @aspect annotation. This annotation tells AspectJ that this is an aspect class containing cross-cutting logic. I'm not adding the @component annotation here. That's because we're not using Spring AOP. In Spring AOP, an aspect must be a Spring bean, so we annotate it with @component, or another stereotype annotation, for Spring to detect and manage it. But with pure AspectJ Compile-Time Weaving, the AspectJ compiler weaves the aspect directly into the bytecode during compilation. It doesn't rely on the Spring container to create or manage the aspect. So, in this case, @aspect is enough, and @component is not required. Next, let's declare a logger object inside the aspect. Now you can create any type of advice, at before, at around, at after returning, or at after throwing, just like we did in the Spring AOP series. In fact, you'll notice that the syntax is exactly the same. There's nothing new to learn here. If you already know Spring AOP, you can use the same knowledge while writing AspectJ aspects. The real difference is how the aspect is applied, not how it's written. For this example, I'm going to create a simple at before advice. Next, let's add the point cut expression. For this demo, I'm going to match every method inside the com.gan.darpan package and all of its sub-packages. Now, let's define the advice method. Inside this method, I'm simply going to print the method name. This will help us verify exactly which method triggered the advice. It's done. As you can see, our AspectJ class looks almost identical to what we wrote in the Spring AOP series. The advice annotations, point cut expressions, join point, and the overall syntax are exactly the same. In fact, if you already know Spring AOP, you don't need to learn a new syntax for writing aspects. The only difference you'll notice here is that we don't need the at component annotation. That's because we're using pure AspectJ Compile-Time Weaving, not Spring AOP. The AspectJ compiler weaves the aspect directly into the bytecode during compilation, so the aspect doesn't need to be managed as a Spring bean. Now, let's build the project. You can run mvn clean install. During this build process, Maven invokes the AspectJ compiler, and that's when compile-time weaving actually happens. Okay, I almost forgot one thing. We still need to add the AspectJ version to the pom.xml. Alright, now let's rebuild the project. Now, look at the build logs. Notice these weaving messages. You can see that AspectJ has woven two classes. One is our demo controller, and the other is our AspectJ demo application. These weaving messages appear because we enabled the Show Weave Info option in the AspectJ Maven plugin configuration. If Show Weave Info were disabled, the weaving would still happen, but these detailed messages wouldn't be displayed in the build logs. Now that the build has completed successfully, let's start the application. Now, let's hit the API. Now, take a look at the console. As you can see, the app before advice is executed first. Immediately after that, the controller method starts executing and prints its own log message. This is exactly the execution flow we expected. The aspect intercepts the method before the target method runs, and only then does the actual business logic execute. Now, let me show you something really interesting. I've already decompiled the generated class. Take a look at the code. As you can see, the AspectJ compiler has modified our original class during compilation. Notice that it has inserted a call to our at before advice right at the beginning of the controller method. Only after executing the advice does it continue with the original method body. This is exactly what compile-time weaving means. The compiler physically rewrites the bytecode and injects the aspect code into the target class. That's why there's no proxy involved at runtime. The weaving has already been completed before the application even starts. And that's it for this video. I hope you now have a clear understanding of how AspectJ Compile-Time Weaving works and how the AspectJ compiler injects your advice directly into the bytecode during compilation. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps support the content and motivates me to create more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.